Well, you know what? We have something called Dear Riggo.
Yes.
And I'm going to turn it over to Perry because we're inviting
All right, Perry.
all of our fans, all the listeners who are going to listen to the podcast to contribute.
Yes. Hashtag Dear Riggo if you're on Twitter. Riggo, you on Twitter?
Yes.
All right. So if you want to follow Riggo, you can. But if you want to ask questions, hashtag Dear Riggo. We'll pull them in all week long, and then probably Mondays before we tape, we'll ask for them as well. So
Okay.
let's first one, of course, we already talked about Adrian Peterson a bunch, but of course the fans want to talk about him as well. This one from @Ebor99, hashtag Dear Riggo. How has the role of running back changed in the last few years, and why is a running back like Adrian Peterson still available in free agency?
You know, I'm going to answer the last part of that question first. I'm still kind of flummoxed by the whole thing that he's available, that somebody didn't gobble him up in the offseason. I don't know. And that might be more the stigma that's attached with age for people that play that position.
I think you're right.
I just think that people do, let's just get a young guy that doesn't have the mileage on him. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. As far as the position, yes, it's changed. And you know the way you know how it's changed. Look at the salary structure. You know, it used to be that a running back, quarterbacks have always made the most amount of money. But then the next guy in line behind for the payday would be a running back.
Not anymore.
They are actually at the bottom of the rung. I think that strong safeties and running backs make about the same amount of money. I'm not 100% sure of that, but that's what I've been told. In other words, the people that get the big payday still your quarterback, and then it goes anything to do with the passing game. Your left tackle is a rule. If your quarterback's right-handed, you got a defensive end, he's going to get paid, and a cornerback and receivers, they're all going to get paid. Not so with the running back. It's kind of a thankless job anymore. But then again, when you find somebody like a Peterson who seems to have a life left in him, football life left in him, that it'll be interesting to see how his season goes, and if he does punch the kind of numbers that you think he's capable of.
This one from @Billy145, Dear Riggo, could AP be the next Diesel? Only thing missing on fourth and inches, Chief Z saying, crank up that Diesel.
That would be the only thing missing. I think, in all honesty, Adrian's just not big enough to be a Diesel. I was once upon a time I think he's about 225, right?
Yes.
He's tall. He's about 6'2". But by the time I was playing, and the way that the system had been set up, the team, Joe, Gibbs, and Bugle, liked to run between the tackles, which wasn't exactly my cup of tea. I mean, I prefer to be out in open space where the little guys are. I don't like to be where the big guys are. But that wasn't going to be the way it was going to shake out for me. So I got up to about I was in the low 240s, I think.
Were you
for
really?
most of that run. Yeah.
Wow.
So I would say that he's got everything but the size. You got to have mass to be a Diesel.
That's exactly right.
Or
out of
anything on a
control,
track.
down River Road, 18 wheels, tons of cargo, straight through the Beltway. Here comes Riggo.
Actually, I was running empty. I had a flatbed. There was no load on the flatbed.
No cargo. Okay.
No cargo.
All right, @RandyWillard907, hashtag Dear Riggo. Is this a team that will play well on both sides of the ball?
Well, that's what we started to show off, talking a little bit about the team, and that was my indication when the whole season began. But after this latest game against Denver, I mean, I'm not predicting doom or gloom, but I think this team still has a way to go, and both on the offense and defense. I really thought that, and I still think this is going to be true. I think defensively they're in good shape. I think physically and talent-wise, it's probably as much talent I've seen on that side of the ball in quite some time. You got to feel like your offensive line is going to be solid. There shouldn't be any reason pass block anyway. I think your quarterback is a professional. He's going to, he'll come to play. The receivers, you got to wait and see. Is that going to come through? And then, of course, your running game. So I think they have the potential to do that. Mm-hmm. But like anything else, you just have to wait and see if that's going to, and it can come and go. And the most important thing is, and I don't think people should get all worked up if this team stumbles a little bit coming out of the blocks. Even though you want to win as many games you can as early as you can, I always feel like the teams, after you get past the halfway mark and you start winning games, then that's where you get momentum. In other words, if you're looking at a team you think you're going to get to the playoffs, that's not the goal. The goal is a Super Bowl, obviously. And so I think that, the teams that start winning in November, late November and December, those are the ones that have momentum going into the playoffs, and that's the way you make a long push through the playoffs.
Jay Gruden making light of his failure to win an opener yet. 0-4 in openers. He kind of joked about it yesterday. Is that a big deal? I mean, he's 0-4 going into his fifth year, hasn't won an opener yet.
I know, and that you got to feel like at times, don't you, that just the law of averages catch up with you. That if nothing else, you're eventually going to win one of these games. But then again, that's the type of thing that I think a guy can get in his head, gets it in his head, and it kind of eat away at him. But and they got to open on the road, right? And
go to Arizona.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
All right, so last one. This one is from @Capsnut, changing sports here for a second. Dear Riggo, how would you rate Alexander Ovechkin's celebration with the Stanley Cup in Georgetown? So that was his question. I want to take it one further. How does that compare to Riggo's celebration when he won the Super Bowl?
Well, we all know that I haven't stopped celebrating.
It's the longest celebration in history.
I don't know if Alex has or not. I would guess he hasn't. Why would he want to do that? Just keep the fun going on. Yeah, he did. I thought he had a pretty good run. Now, he lived here. See, I didn't live here, so I had to pack it up and go back to Kansas, at the end of the season. I didn't get to really, I was here for a little bit. Now, the more I think about it, I somehow managed to hang out in D.C. a little more.
Probably had a couple Georgetown escapades.
Yes, I did. I had friends that lived down there where
speculation.
I had a crash pad down there, now that I recall. So, yeah, I did.
Crash pad.
It was a crash pad. He's got a crash pad.
How many crash pads did you have
I only
located
had the
around
one.
this?
I just had the one. You only need one. I didn't need more than one.
Oh, man.
All right.
So that's Dear Riggo. How do people send the?
Yeah, hashtag Dear Riggo on Twitter. Just drop them in there. We'll be trying to keep up with them all week, and we'll gather them and bring them to Riggo.
Okay, let's do that.